What's going on, guys? This is Mikeinoid, and today we're going to talk about Skylanders Imaginators. So, we've covered Spyro's Adventure, Giant, Swap Force, Trap Team, and Superchargers in the past 5 months. So, it looks like we got one more game to talk about, the final game of the series, Skylanders Imaginators. So I wasn't able to find official sales numbers for Superchargers, but the game was nominated for Best Family Game at the Game Awards of 2015 and Favorite Video Game at Kids' Choice Awards of 2016. Skylanders was still doing good. They even released an animated show on Netflix, Skylanders Academy. As of making this video, the show has 3 seasons at a total of 38 episodes. Now, I never watched the show until preparing for this video. By the time Skylanders Academy came out in 2016, I had fallen out of following the Skylanders franchise. I feel like the show should have been made alongside the 3rd or even the 4th game, but I guess the last game will do. So yeah, this was my first time watching the entire show.
Relax, Disruptor. Just giving these cadets a little memento.
What the hell did you just do?
But an apology.
I got this.
Hey!
Yo, Stealth out, chill out. I'm not vaccinated yet. Where's your mask? Where's your mask?
I actually enjoyed Skylanders Academy. Going into it, I thought it was going to be really corny, but the show has some good jokes and has a proper story. The only thing that kind of threw me off was that some of the voice actors are different from the games, Stealth Elf being the more noticeable one. But after a few episodes in, I was totally okay with it after the characters were established. To be honest with you guys, Skylanders in the games never really had a chance to show off much personality. I mean, they would say a few catchphrases and one-liners, but that's about it. This show feels like it fills in that missing personality in the Skylanders that are featured in the show. Besides, we still have the same voice actors for a few characters like Pop Fizz, Jetpack, Chaos, and Flint. Ugh. Why the hell does he look like that? I don't want to go too much into the detail of the story just in case no one has seen the show, but I recommend giving it a watch, especially if you're a Skylanders fan. I will note that the show and the games don't seem like they are canon with each other, but there's still some callbacks that are present in the show. So as I mentioned, Skylanders Academy was releasing its first season on October 28th of 2016 as a Netflix original. And what better way to promote this animated show than to release a new Skylanders game, Skylanders Imaginators. So this game was revealed at E3 of 2016, which was revealed alongside Crash Bandicoot's Revival, both in the Crash Insane trilogy and becoming a playable character in the Skylanders franchise. It's about time! While the announcement of Crash and Skylanders didn't really get a reaction from the crowd, it was still a pretty big deal for Skylander fans. Crash was a character that I feel like should have been in the first game alongside Spyro, but better late than never, I guess. Now Crash as a Skylander, he plays like Crash. Like, if you played any of the Crash games before, he works pretty similar, while still bringing his own Skylander twist. And of course, alongside Crash, they also bring back Dr. Neo Cortex, and yeah, he's not that good at all, actually. I despise this character. Alongside the Crash announcement, they revealed the gimmick for Imaginators, which is the ability to create your own Skylanders. Of course, the way you do that is buying a creation crystal. I'll talk more about the creation crystals when I get to the game itself, but these toys that light up come in one of the 10 elements and allow you to store a custom Skylander of one of the 10 battle classes: Bazooker, Bowslinger, Brawler, Knight, Ninja, Quickshot, Sentinel, Smasher, Sorcerer, and Swashbuckler. Also, if you were really into making your own Skylanders, Activision made a mobile app called the Creator app, which you probably heard from Imaginators advertising to you in the loading screen. Now, I never used the Creator app since it doesn't exist anymore, but the Creator app allowed you to make your own Skylander wherever you are and port it over to your game. And something that I thought was really cool was the ability to order a 3D printed figure of your Imaginator that would actually work as a Skylander in the game. Like, I really wish I did this at least once. If you didn't feel like using your imagination or just wanted to use much stronger Skylanders, then you can buy Sensei Skylanders. Sensei Skylanders are the main Skylanders of this game, each belonging to one of the 10 elements and one of the 10 battle classes. Of course, Light and Dark getting the least amount of Skylanders again. You had a roster of brand new characters, Crash Bandicoot and Dr. Neo Cortex, and a handful full of villains from Trap Team with updated movesets and even some with new elements. Oh, also Chaos is playable once again, but this time with his own figure. Technically, this Chaos is a clone that the real Chaos created but joined the Skylanders because he wanted victory for himself, but hey, that's one way to explain why you can play as the main villain of the game while kicking the ass of that said villain. Senseis themselves are the same size as Giants, Swap Force, and Trapmaster figures, and they were the most expensive figures to buy. Hell, they're still the most expensive figures to buy, god damn. There are a total of 31 Sensei figures and 31 unique creation crystals, which some of them may have not been released. And when you add up the 13 in-game Sensei color variants, the 3 legendary creation crystals, and the 4 chests and 2 adventure pack figures, Imaginators had a total of 84 figures to collect. Possibly. Another thing to note is that there were even some figures that were re-released from Swap Force. They probably just did this to give people another chance to buy these figures and of course make more money, or maybe they just had some figures left over. I don't know. It was actually pretty interesting to see these figures repackaged once again. So let's talk about the starter pack, shall we? Skylanders Imaginators released on October 13th of 2016 for Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS3, PS4, and the Wii U. In the starter pack, you get Kingpin, Golden Queen, the Fire Creation Crystal, the stickers and poster, and a portal which reverted back to the Swap Force design. Portal owners packs became a thing again. You miss out on getting Kingpin and Golden Queen, but at least you don't have to buy an extra portal. Dark editions made a return. You get dark versions of Kingpin, Golden Queen, and Wolfgang alongside 3 Imaginite crystals and a gold chest. With the addition of Crash and Dr. Neo Cortex, a special Crash Bandicoot starter pack was available for the PS3 and PS4 that included the 2 figures. Unlike the Nintendo guest stars, Crash and Dr. Neo Cortex can be used in any version of Imaginators. Imaginators would be the only game that didn't get a Wii and 3DS release. Of course, several reasons for this is that both the Wii and the 3DS are becoming to be a little bit obsolete, and that Imaginators would require more buttons, so it just wouldn't work on the Wii. And another reason is because Imaginators was a launch title for the Nintendo Switch on March 3rd of 2017. And as some of you may know, Skylanders Imaginators for the Switch is the most expensive Skylander game known to man. There's a few reasons for this. One, there weren't a lot of starter packs released for the Switch. It also didn't help that the Switch was damn near hard to find within the first 6 months of its release. And 2, Switch games usually are more expensive than games on other platforms. I mean, not this much expensive, but people like the Switch. It allows you to play games both on the TV and on the go, and this is a full Skylanders game that you can play on the go. Plus, no portal is necessary with the Switch. You can scan in your Skylanders using the right Joy-Con Pro controller or on the Switch Lite, and the Skylander is saved to your game. I mean, it's pretty messy since you have to select Skylanders like this. I mean, was it that hard to organize them by elements like the 3DS did? But besides that, I feel like this feature made this version of the game much more desirable. Oh, by the way, the Switch version has Wendell, so you can go talk to him in order to save your Skylanders progress to the actual figure, so you'll be able to use them in the other games. Kind of weird that they didn't even bother to give this man any voice lines, but I mean, I guess he really didn't need them. Skylanders Imaginators had 2 different modes, the story mode and racing mode. Racing mode is just the same racing part of Superchargers, which gives you all of the courses without needing the trophies. Of course, you'll still need the trophies to be able to capture and use the villains. For some reason, the Switch didn't have the racing mode, which sucked, because I actually like the racing from Superchargers. Once again, you can choose your difficulty in the story mode from easy, medium, and hard, and once you beat the game, you will have access to nightmare mode. So here is where all the controversy starts. Listen man, I never played the Skylanders game for its in-depth story, but I really didn't care for this story. I mean, the plot is bare bones. Chaos gets a hold of mind magic powers to create an army of Doomlanders that would help him take over Skylands. He gets help from a talking brain, and you fight a guacamole monster, and you use a cake as a Trojan horse to sneak in, and you find out that Chaos stole Jetpack's lunch, and Chaos goes Super Saiyan. That's really all I remembered. At this point, I've been so used to Callie and Flynn taking you to each level, but they are barely featured in this game. The star characters are the legacy Skylanders like Spyro, Jetvac, Stealth-Elf, Eruptor, Pop Fizz, you know, to help sell the show. Can someone tell me what was the point of giving Gil Grunt a part in this game? He's not even in the show! The levels are okay. I like the fact that they are much shorter than they were in the last game, but they don't even come close to being as creative. I feel like I'm obligated to mention this, but one of the levels is just called Abandoned Amusement Park. It's not creative at all compared to other levels that have been named in the series. I mean, technically there are only 10 levels, but the game extends the gameplay by having 10 elemental areas. Some of them are fine, others are just boring. You can access each chapter and elemental realms in the mysterious ancient place, aka the MAP. Woo boy, I need a MAP just to be able to navigate this game hub. One minute you head towards the life realm, then the next you find yourself in the rat kingdom. Like, what the f happened? The more I explored the MAP, I actually started to like it a little bit more. I just wish you were able to select which chapter you wanted to play in the main menu like you were able to do in the previous games, instead of always walking to the level where you first discover the levels. The Skylanders Academy is located in the MAP. Here you can talk to Eon to take on quests, and I guess this replaced the Portal Master rank or something, but completing these quests is just one way to earn you an Imaginite chest. Coming across these chests are the easiest thing to do because you get them by doing just about anything. You get them from completing levels, just finding them in the levels, bringing books to Hugo, playing the Troll Radio and Crane Egg minigames, winning a game of Sky Stones, chasing snails, beating all the enemies from the Battle Gong, matching the 3 gems in the new lock puzzle, adding new Sensei and Imaginite crystals to your game. Yeah, it's damn near impossible to not find these chests. Imaginite chests unlock common, rare, epic, and ultimate customization choices you can use to customize your Imaginator. Opening these chests were supposed to seem addictive, so you would want to be able to open as many chests as possible to get cool gear. So Activision made it a microtransaction. Oh man, this was so stupid. For one, opening up chests is a whole process to the point where you just want it to be over with. And two, it's so easy to find these chests in the game. All you have to do is play through the entire game a few times just to get everything. So buying Imaginite chests in the console's digital store just didn't make sense. They made these chests that would be bronze, silver, or gold and sold them in blind packages, which makes more sense to me. At least you get to keep something physical, even though they have a one-time use per game. But hey, you get a cute little chest. They also made blue chests, which came in certain expansion packs, which we'll talk a little bit more about. But these blue chests just automatically give you a whole bunch of predetermined customization stuff that you wouldn't have access to otherwise. I say that customizing and creating an Imaginator is by far the funnest part of this game in my opinion. There's so much customization in terms of mixing and matching body parts to create something that makes sense or makes something that's just wrong. I will say though, it was kind of weird that battle classes just had to be strictly a certain body type. For example, the ninja class, you can't even have a body, you just have one big head and your arms and legs are just attached to that head. It's weird. You can equip gear and set attacks to your character, but if you want to use stronger gear or unlock new moves, you need to level up. You can give them names and their own catchphrases, as well as giving them music. Now, you can always change their look anytime you want, but you cannot, I repeat, cannot change their battle class in the game. You see, the reason why setting their battle class is a final decision is so that you feel obligated to go out and buy more creation crystals to use the other battle classes. If you ever bought a creation crystal used, you'll most likely have someone else's weird creation on it already. And I mean, you can change the look of it, but the battle class, that ain't gonna happen in Imaginators, chief. So it sounds like Activision was finally able to put an end to used Skylanders sellers, right? Nope. It's possible to fully reset creation crystals by using the 3DS versions of Skylanders. You just place it on the portal and the game thinks the toy is broken, so it tries to reset it, and voila, you can pick the class you want. If you don't have a 3DS or the game and portal, you can do a similar method using the Wii version of Skylanders Giants. I don't know what's worse, the fact that Activision tried to make it impossible to reset creation crystals, or the fact they failed to do so. Either way, the consumers of the used Skylanders market still win, and it just takes a few extra steps to reset your creation crystal. While exploring levels, you'll find those Imaginite chests and troll radios while still finding soul gems. You can find Sensei related things like the battle gong and the Sensei shrines that will unlock an ultimate attack for your Sensei. You can also find legendary selfie frames which you can hang up in the Skylander Academy to give a certain battle class buffs. Yeah, you can take selfies in this game. Honestly, I don't have much of an issue with selfie mode. A lot of games nowadays are beginning to include photo modes where you can take some pretty cool snapshots. Imaginators also encourages you to take pictures by giving you those buffs and including selfie spots where you can get gold. My main issue with selfie modes is that there's a limit of 20 pictures you can have in your gallery. Like, what's the point of putting all of these selfie spots in levels if you're going to make players delete pictures every time you need to take a new one? This totally disrupts the flow of the game, and eventually I just started to ignore the selfie spots. And of course, you can play all of these levels with another player. So Skylanders can still reach up to level 20. For the first time ever, you are able to upgrade your Skylanders anytime you want, which is great, as well as claiming ownership and resetting the figure. Giving your Skylanders hats is no longer a thing, probably to keep the feature exclusive to Imaginators. But if your Skylander did have a hat before, it will show up in the game. Leveling up Imaginators works differently. The max level starts out at 15, but every time you add a Sensei to your game, the max level increases by 1. I believe if you were able to get all the Senseis and the in-game color variants, the max would be level 59. It would have been 60 if they released Heartbreaker Buckshot, and like I mentioned earlier, you are able to customize your Imaginators, looks, powers, and personality anytime you like. The soul gems you find in the game are the Sensei Skylanders and the 10 battle classes for Imaginators. All Skylanders from previous games work in Imaginators as long as you have a portal that supports Swap Force figures. I don't know about you guys, but playing as most of the older Skylanders was pretty much impossible. Skylanders were just weak and got their asses handed to them. Magic items and traps get you some gold and register in your collection, and vehicles get you an Imaginite chest. Imaginators did have adventure packs where you put the figure of the location on the portal and the level is unlocked. But some levels were unlocked through the Skylanders themselves. Crash and Dr. Neo Cortex unlocked Thumpin' Wumpa Islands, which is easily the best level of the game by the way, while Storm unlocks Cursed Tiki Temple and Robo unlocks Lost Imaginite Mines. Like, why did they release actual adventure packs if they were just planning to just have certain Skylanders unlock the levels themselves? I don't know, I guess I'm just really salty that the prices of Wildstorm and Robo are just so high. I mean, it's a shame. People actually worked on these extra levels and hardly anyone got to play them because so little of these Wildstorm and Robo packs were released. Well, at least you can buy the NFC cards for pretty cheap. I made sure I expanded my Imaginators collection during my second playthrough of this game, and I definitely have my favorites. Kingpin hits fast and hard with his penguin combo. Golden Queen's Soul Gem move is a neat callback from her Trap Team boss fight where she becomes giant. Aurora was great to use because of how fast she moves around levels using her flash dash. Taekwon Crow, he summons a giant buzzerbeak. That's just pretty cool. Even though the Senseis were stronger than the Imaginators, I still had fun using some of my creations. Hot Sauce was my Fire Knight, Poppy was my Water Bowslinger, Bloomsday was my Life Bazooker, and Scarecrow was my Earth Quickshot Imaginator. I really had fun making these characters. I even tried to make Sir Hoodington, which is the popular Imaginator example that's on the cover of the game. So it looked like Imaginators and Skylanders Academy was going to be the last Skylanders product we would have from the Skylanders franchise. However, Activision released a new Skylanders mobile game that was revamped on December 3rd of 2020 and still works as of making this video. Skylanders Ring of Heroes. So this is a turn-based RPG that lets you create a team of Skylanders and play as portal masters that got sent to Skylands and stop chaos from using the Book of Dark Magic. I only played the game for a few minutes, but it's honestly pretty cool. Of course, the game is free to play, but you'll have to either grind for gems or spend real money to be able to get more Skylanders. You know, your classic mobile game stuff. Now, I will admit, I didn't like Skylanders Imaginators for the first time I played it, but after getting a few more Skylanders and creation crystals and spending more time with the game, I started to enjoy it a lot more. While this game lacks an intriguing story and unique and exciting levels, and the god-awful Skylander selection menu in the Switch version, I will not live that down. It's a good Skylanders game at its core. Obviously, the more Skylanders you have, the more enjoyment you will get from the Skylanders franchise, so having a bunch of creation crystals let you experience the best part of this game, which of course is the customization of Imaginators. Depending on how determined you are to find every creation part there is, you're going to be very busy with this game. There's also some post-game content that involves you helping the brain with certain side quests. Yeah, I didn't care. The game is pretty short, so you might have time to try and get all 3 stars from each level. Depending on the level, the 3 stars may differ to what you need to do, but of course, at least getting the first star, all you have to do is beat the level for the first time. So honestly, I thought this was the worst Skylanders game of the franchise. However, I feel like it saved itself a little bit. It just took buying a whole Skylander lot that had some Imaginator stuff. I was able to create some more Imaginators. Well, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know which Skylanders from Skylanders Imaginators are your favorite down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and of course, what the? Whoa, what the f? What are all of these Skylanders doing here? Yo, what the f? Bro, what? Where did all my stuff go? Okay. They gotta go.